I have spent so long trying to get this background to just line up. You see, like, I want like this nice line here, this nice line over here, and and I want there to be this nice even space, between the two here, but I just yeah, that was kind of a lighthearted way to start this video, but I can't really think of a lighthearted like joke or anything to start off this video, because seriously, feeling distant from God is one of the hardest things to go through. As Christians, God is our rock, and when this rock that we're clinging to feels like it's crumbling away, that is so difficult to deal with. Okay, seriously, am I in the middle of this frame? Like, this is driving me crazy. Nope, that's too far. Is that? Okay, I think right there is as good as we're gonna get. Okay, so feeling distant from God is something I've definitely struggled with over these past few years. In grade 10, I had a pretty rough year. Now, it started off just getting used to high school and all of the things and the struggles that come with that, new classes, new teachers, new people, new everything. But in that period, the enemy got a hold of me. And so as I was emerging from this transition period, the enemy just kept yanking me back and just grabbing onto my feet and just pulling me back as I was trying to move ahead. And he convinced me that God was nowhere to be seen, that this rock that I was clinging to was crumbling away. And so I had so many questions for God that I felt didn't have answers. And every question that would come into my head, the enemy would take a hold of and turn against God. And I was facing a level of spiritual warfare that I didn't know existed. The enemy just tugging at me, never stopping, taking advantage of every thought, every doubt, every question, and turning them against God. And I'd spend nights crying, angry with God, throwing things around, just losing my mind, and ultimately feeling like God had abandoned me. Like I was walking through this valley, and I knew there were good times behind me, and I knew there were good times ahead of me. It was this valley that I knew had mountaintops on both sides, but I felt like God was only with me on those mountaintops, that while I was in this valley, God was nowhere to be seen. And I've struggled this year as well with feeling distant from God and feeling like when I pray and when I talk to him, he doesn't hear me. So let's talk about this. So the first thing I want to address is that we will struggle. Sadly, it is inevitable. In Revelations 10, it says, "Do not be afraid of what you are about to suffer. I tell you, the devil will put some of you in prison to test you, and you will suffer persecution for 10 days. Be faithful, even to the point of death, and I will give you life as your victor's crown." This idea is mirrored in a more well-known passage saying, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." We are told throughout the Bible that the testing of our faith through various trials, temptations, and hardships is A, unavoidable, and B, serves a purpose. I read something interesting while preparing for this video, and it said that the testing of your faith is never about proving yourself to God. Rather, it's about proving your true self to yourself, if that makes any sense. God knows you. He knows everything about you. There's nothing you can try and prove to him. He knows where you struggle. He knows where you fall short. When we are tested and we trust in God, it strengthens our own faith. It teaches us perseverance. So when you are tested and tried, don't feel like that's when God just steps back and is like, "Okay, show me what you got." No, think of it as when God is like trust me. Let's walk through this together and let me show you once again that you can trust me. The next thing I want to note is a simple fact. God never leaves us. He just doesn't. Let me get out the whiteboard for this next part. Okay, so sometimes we think that we're here and that God is up here, and this divide between is so large that our prayers and our requests and our what we need just gets lost in this divide. And we have just one God trying to help all these people. And he just can't possibly help every single one of us. But here is the reality. God is still divine and sovereign, but he's also with every single one of us. You like my drawings there? He's with every single one of us. But how does he do this? How does one God simultaneously be with every single one of us? The answer is the Holy Spirit, God living within us through his Spirit. I envy Jesus' disciples for the close relationship they were able to have with God by being able to physically spend time with God's own Son. But however, I do not envy them for what they had to go through when Jesus went back up to heaven. You want to talk about feeling distant from God? Look at these disciples who had spent all this time being physically close to God and then having to all of a sudden give that up. That would have been incredibly difficult, but Jesus assures them by saying, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to help you and be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept him because it neither sees him nor knows him, but you know him, for he lives with you and will be in you. I will not leave you as orphans, I will come to you. Jesus didn't leave us all alone on this earth. God sent his Spirit to be with us, to help us, to teach us, to guide us. And that is why we are never alone. God never left us and he never will. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that video. As per usual, hit that little subscribe button for more videos every single week. Next week's video should be a good one. I'm excited for it. So yeah, hit the little subscribe button for more videos every single week. Drop a comment if you're so inclined. Like the video. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week.